Hi, I'm Perry Atkinson, General Manager here at theDove. Hey, check out our other videos and check out our website at thedove.us. Welcome back. Well, Ebola is on everybody's mind, and it is certainly an issue that has got our attention, and we're trying to figure out, all right, how bad is it? What are we doing about it? Are we handling this right? Well, I'm delighted to have with us today Michael Daugherty. He's the president and CEO of LabMD, an Atlantic-based clinical and medical laboratory. And Michael is here to help us understand a little bit more about this. Hi, Michael. How are you doing today?
Good morning. How you doing, Perry?
Good. Tell us about your company first.
Well, we're a diagnostics laboratory. We're based in Atlanta. We specialize in cancer diagnosis, and we're a niche player, and we've been around since '96. We've gotten the crosshairs of the government a little bit later with some cybersecurity investigations, so we're on pause as far as what's going on diagnostically. But I've been in medicine for 30 years and diagnostic testing since '96.
Wow, great. All right, Ebola. What an incredible thing. What's your take on it? Is it as serious as people think it is?
I think how the government's handling it is of serious concern. If it is as serious as people are concerned it should be. It's the government's job to surround themselves with people that know more than we do and be proactive. And I think that is what everyone's really concerned about, is if it is as bad as we are afraid it could be, is this a team that's going to handle it properly? And I can't see so far how that's the case.
All right, so you're kind of hitting on the main nerve. Can we trust the government? It doesn't appear right now that they know what they're doing every time.
That's exactly right.
I mean, they give a news report, or they give a news conference, and then 10 minutes later they're back correcting what they just said.
and that's it's like, what are your priorities? Like, let's just don't listen to what they say. Let's watch what they do. And we've got, first you've got Obama saying it's going to be fine and we need to worry about this, and then and it's constant reaction, not proactive. It is then you have the spin control. Then you have, I don't need a czar. Now I've got a czar. And, oh, suddenly I have this czar in 2 seconds. So he was having a czar in his back pocket. And then who is it? I don't know about you, Perry, but when I'm sick, I don't call my congressman. I call the doctor.
Right.
And so how are we supposed to feel better about the government having a hand in this when the czar is a politico? These are these little chips that are concerning people more and more and more.
Over the weekend, I saw, well, if we're serious about Ebola, let's just have all of the flights coming into the United States land first in Washington, D.C. we'll process them there.
Yeah, that would be the litmus test to see if they're afraid of it or not.
Yeah, there you go. So Ron Klein, who is he? He's not a medical doctor.
Good question, right? He's someone they all know. He's someone that has their back. He is someone that therefore will take the heat, fall on the grenade, and I love how they argue that he's the good organizational manager. And that if you work in medicine like I have, that makes you absolutely crazy because you have to know what you don't know. You don't have to be a doctor per se, or even though it would help, because they have different skills, but you at least have got to have a very broad medical background, know how the system works, because we don't have time to put these people on a learning curve. And it seems to me what he's really strong at is his relationships with the people in power, not so much people that have the knowledge. And that's why everyone's so up in arms about who Obama's choosing here. I'm sure he's a fine guy. That's not the point.
All right. So if the feds are dropping the ball, what pressure does this put on the states?
Well, it all rolls downhill, doesn't it? Right.
Yeah, right.
Because it rolls downhill in 6 months to a year, and that's the game. And it's the problem is here is such a high stakes issue, but the game hasn't changed that much, right? Now we have a spin artist heading it up. We've got someone that's got the back of the people in power, and they're relying on circle and confuse, and hopefully we'll get lucky and wait this one out. So the states are going to, look how much cleaning that Frontier Airlines jet cost.
Yeah.
It's not Frontier's fault. Well, how much has that hospital spent on one patient? What, as a laboratory medicine guy here, you can't underestimate how much it's going to cost just to test these patients bedside and make sure that everything is completely tight in the chain of custody. This is unbelievably expensive. These are the reasons why you want to keep the potential out of the country. Because, look how much just 3 or 4 are costing.
Yeah.
So it's very disturbing. It just, again, demonstrates they don't really know what's going on here. And
all right, Michael, help me get my head around a very basic question. Why aren't we restricting travel into the United States? Why aren't we what's the argument that allows us to continue?
Well, this is what happens when you politicize medicine. This is what happens when you and so I think there's political concerns, okay? I mean, for some reason he's okay to have a travel ban to Israel, but he's not okay having a travel ban to West Africa. To me, that's a political issue, and it shows that he'll put the politics above health. And now they're spinning it to, well, we haven't had that many cases, don't overreact, it's not going to help. That's bull. I mean, you err on the side of safety, and I think this is politics. I mean, I think he committed early, and he certainly will never say he was wrong. And we're in the heat of an election where they're going to lose the Senate, and they are doubling down hard. This is just like, before the 2012, we had Benghazi, and they doubled down hard. And now we've got this, and they're doubling. It's politics. Double down hard, save your skin, kick the ball down the road till after November.
Do you think the electorate now is becoming more aware how serious this is, and it is becoming a political football and not really taken seriously as a health issue? Do you think the electorate's starting to wake up on this?
I think a lot of people are. I get disappointed, though, because we shouldn't even have some of these races as close as we have them. We shouldn't have North Carolina close or Georgia close. We really shouldn't, and we do. So I hope the electorate's waking up, and I hope they wake up and don't get so disgusted they stay home. That's the problem. Right. But yeah, I think a lot of people are frustrated, and the key is feel powerless. I mean, and we can't feel powerless. So everyone's got to just go vote.
All right, you've touched all the hot buttons here. Is it wrong to think that the president ought to be brought up on derelict of duties? I mean, the first responsibility of the federal government is protection of its citizens. Now, that foreign and domestic, but this is a protection issue of the citizenry, and we just seem to be watching our government fumble the ball, and we're letting them get away with it.
We're going to let them get away with it in the short run, and the problem is how they play those politics for the loony left. The far left, the blue states that have so many electoral votes. You have to look at the cause and effect of doing that, because this is not a guy that isn't interested in primarily protecting the Constitution. He's just not. This is not a secret. But we've got such a large amount of people in the country that don't even understand that either. I mean, to understand someone's violating the Constitution, you have to understand the Constitution.
Right.
And so I don't think this is a quick fix problem, because I don't think we got in this mess this quickly. And so I think while I love that, and I can't wait till he's not in the White House, and I certainly hope the Senate goes red, I'm concerned about how they'll use it, because these people have no shame. They're going to use anything. And so and they muddy the waters, and they play ball. Focusing on effectiveness, this is a deep hole we're in. I think the first thing we have to do is get that Senate red and neutralize him.
All right.
And then that's it.
Who's paying for this? Is Obamacare paying for this?
Oh, no. Well, Obamacare. Not really. Obamacare's probably protected itself, right? I mean, what code is going to be filed? What's Frontier Airlines going to do?
Yeah.
So not a lot. I don't know what that woman's insurance is. Really, I have no idea. We'll find out, won't we?
Yeah, I guess she's lawyered up, because now she's been made a scapegoat, but she's lawyered up, getting ready to fight back. I mean, what is she going to fight? She's got to fight for her health. Yeah, right. And then she can fight for her reputation. And it's difficult. I mean, people have to get a longer memory and learn what they'll do. I mean, they capitalize on our short memory. So
I don't know how she's going to have any legal. I don't know. I mean, hopefully she doesn't rip the hospital to shreds. I mean, this is what's going on here is what's happening to our hospitals, and that's what happens ultimately to patients. So we have less people wanting to be doctors and less people wanting to run hospitals, or even hospital organizations want to build them. We're going to lose. So we have to get our perspective here. And hopefully.
Michael, if people want to get a hold of you, it's the Devil Inside the Beltway.com. Is that the best way?
Yeah, there's the book at Amazon, and that's the website, theDevilInsideTheBeltway.com.
Well, you're an informed guy. I want to have you back more often. This is interesting. Bottom line, where do you think this thing's going? I mean, is this just going to be a political football until after the election, or do you think it'll carry through to 216?
Oh, I hope it carries through 216 because I hope we learn from it and don't forget. But I hope it's not carrying through because we have more and more people sick. We've got a whole lot of things, but I think depends on how much it spreads. It really depends on, because if it gets contained, they're going to be dancing around. I told you so. I told you so. You're overreacting. So it depends on what happens the next 8 weeks in the election and with the disease spread.
Well, we saw what happened with one person getting it who was on a flight, and how that potentially affected hundreds of people.
Right, but that's because the media is covering it and all over it, right? But what is the media going to do in 3 weeks? I haven't heard much about a Russian plane going down. I haven't heard. I mean,
right. I hear
once they give it up,
right.
And if it's not their self-interest, they might give it. So there's moving parts here.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Michael Daugherty. And anyway, the Devil's Inside the Beltway.com if you want to check out his book and correspond with him. Let's stay in touch, friend. Good to see you.
All right. Good talking to you. Thanks for having me.
All right. We'll be right back.